A Boeing 777 doesn't just disappear every second of every flight. Modern airliners are tracked, monitored by satellites, and guided by air traffic control. So when Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 vanished, it shouldn't have been possible. Yet somehow, it happened, and more than a decade later, the truth remains unknown. It all began during the early hours of March 8, 2014. Flight MH370 departed Kuala Lumpur, bound for Beijing. On board were 239 passengers and crew. Families settled into their seats, cabin lights dimmed. Most passengers were preparing for a quiet overnight flight. No one on board knew they were about to become part of one of aviation's greatest mysteries. Less than an hour after takeoff, the crew contacted air traffic control one final time. Their voices sounded calm, professional, completely routine. There was no sign of panic, no emergency, no indication that anything was wrong. "Good night, Malaysian 370. No one listening realized those would become the last confirmed words ever heard from Flight MH370. For the next few minutes, everything still appeared normal. Then, Flight MH370 disappeared from civilian radar. Air traffic controllers expected the aircraft to check in with the next control center. It never did. There was no distress call, no emergency signal, no explanation. It was as if one of the world's most advanced passenger aircraft had simply vanished. But investigators were about to discover that wasn't the whole story. Hours later, military radar revealed something investigators never expected. MH370 hadn't continued toward Beijing. Instead, it turned sharply back across the Malaysian peninsula. Then it continued west, flying silently, without contacting anyone. That single turn changed the entire investigation. But the biggest surprise was still to come. Even after radar lost the aircraft, it wasn't completely gone. Communication satellites continued receiving automatic electronic handshakes from MH370. These weren't voice messages. They were brief signals showing the aircraft was still powered and communicating with a satellite network. Analysis suggested the aircraft continued flying for nearly 7 more hours toward the vast southern Indian Ocean. Somewhere, the airplane had to come down. What followed became the largest search in aviation history. Dozens of ships, military aircraft, satellites, underwater sonar vehicles. Countries from around the world joined the effort. Millions of square miles of ocean were searched, yet day after day, nothing was found. Then, more than a year later, the first confirmed pieces of MH370 began washing ashore on islands and coastlines around the Indian Ocean. The debris confirmed investigators had been searching in the right part of the world, but it also deepened the mystery. Only a handful of confirmed fragments were ever recovered. The main wreckage, the flight recorders, and the answers remain missing. In the years that followed, investigators examined every possibility: mechanical failure, pilot incapacitation, deliberate human action, even unauthorized interference. Each theory attempted to explain part of the mystery, but none could answer every question. Without the aircraft, some answers may never be known. Even today, the search isn't truly over. Advances in technology, new satellite analysis, and renewed efforts continue to offer hope that one day, MH370 may finally be found. For aviation, MH370 changed the way aircraft are tracked across the world. For investigators, it remains one of the most complex investigations ever conducted. But for the families, it has never simply been a mystery. It has been years of unanswered questions and hope that has never completely disappeared. Somewhere, in one of the most remote places on Earth, lies an airplane carrying the answers to one of history's greatest mysteries until it is found. The disappearance of Flight MH370 remains unfinished. What do you believe happened to Flight MH370? Share your theory in the comments. And if you enjoy real mysteries based on evidence, follow for more documentary stories every week.